right, the 2023-2024 European season is now a wrap, and Real Madrid are the champions once again of Europe 15 times. And we say congratulations to Nigeria's Ademola Lookman and El Kabi of Morocco. They played a very crucial part in their club winning the Europa League and, of course, the European Conference League. At least Africa also have their stories written in Europe as far as last season is concerned. Welcome to Sport Africa. My name remains Ashalelu Afemi. If you're just joining us, of course, this is where we discuss all things football, all things sporting, biggest sporting stories on the continent, the most beautiful continent in the world, if you ask me. James Agberebi is here. So much to talk about today on the show. Remember, the season is off, and of course, the 2026 World Cup qualifier is now the full focus of almost all the 54 countries on the continent. James, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy to be on today's edition.
All right. Okay. So what we'll do right here, we'll do our continental roundup, then we'll do our talking point. But now that the season is over, we will have a little rejig to what we do right here on the show. Now, I want to tell you guys something. If you're watching Africa, if you're watching in Europe or wherever across the world, we are trying to build a local content that is specifically focused on Africa right here on Sports Africa. And that is why we continue to covet. That is why we continue to solicit your support. Please do not just watch our videos. Please subscribe to our channel so that we can grow. We actually need you to grow. As a matter of fact, what we do right here is not for us. It is for you, wherever you are in Africa, wherever you are across the world, so long you are an African. James, let's get started. Okay, let's do the continental roundup before we get to the talking point. Last week, there was a video that circulated across the world where Samuel Eto'o had a one-on-one confrontation with Coach McBride, but now that has been put to rest, because Samuel Eto'o has tendered an apology to the sports ministry and, of course, to McBride, and he has said it is time to work together. We'll be looking at the implication of that today on the show. And of course, Victor Osimhen is in focus. Why is it that clubs are not coming for the reigning African Footballer of the Year? Napoli are worried. Yeah, I know some of you are his fans wherever you are across the world. You're also worried. So we'll be giving you the latest regarding Victor Osimhen and his future at Napoli. Once again, you are welcome. Just let's get to the talking point. I'm sure you've seen that video of a confrontation between Samuel Eto'o and McBride. Samuel Eto'o invited McBride for a walking session at the FIFA Food headquarters right there in Yaoundé. And of course, the thing quickly generated into a melodrama after Samuel Eto'o told the coach that he has made a lot of mistakes. And then if you follow the conversation, of course, our producer is rolling the video for us right there on the show, or on the screen rather. And then officials of the sports ministry who accompanied McBride to the FIFA Food headquarters were not allowed to get into the building. As a matter of fact, there was a video that I saw. I'm not sure whether it is in this one, but Samuel Eto'o actually, out of courtesy, approached one of them and said, "No, you can't be in this meeting." And after then Samuel Eto'o tendered an apology to McBride. He was talking about emotion. The emotion was running high, and now he said now they want to work together because the Indomitable Lions have a Cape Verde to contend with this Saturday. James, what is the indication of all this? I don't want to say who's the biggest winner, because the sports ministry will certainly claim to be the winner right here. But let me ask, who do you think is the biggest loser in all of this? Is it Samuel Eto'o? Is it McBride himself? Because the environment is still very tense and unfriendly. Is it going to be Cameroon football? I don't know. What do you think, James?
For me, I think it's going to be Cameroon football, because all those times when they will be at each other's throats, attacking each other, throwing tantrums here and there, I think the people who you expect that will suffer for it are the players, But thank God that reason has prevailed, and decide to put aside their egos and focus on what's at stake. I think the thing here is Eto'o doesn't really have issues with the coach. I think it's the sports ministry that he has issues with. It's just that it's so unfortunate that McBride is just caught in the middle of all the whole issue. So it's like, now transferring your attention on someone doesn't even know what's really happening. He's just caught in the middle of the whole issue. So I watched the video, and I think Eto is just indirectly going after the sport ministry. You saw how he walked the sport ministry official away. So you just go to show that it's not about my price. It's between Eto and the sports ministry. So I think it's a good one that he has eventually decided to apologize. And because I mean, whether they fight from now till next week or next month, the World Cup qualifier must be played unless they want to tell us that they want to pull out. The qualifier is just a few days away. So I think he just decided to sit down and say, okay, instead of affecting the players, why not just for now? Because I don't want to believe that we've heard the last of this. So we just feel for now, let's just put every difference aside and focus on the World Cup qualifier, which is more important than whatever issue that they are dragging, with each other. So I just hope that the coach would have had enough time to do his work because I mean it has been hot these few weeks, and let's see. Hopefully, he'll be able to do something because I'm telling you, Femi, if he doesn't start on a very good note, I mean the dagger will be drawn against him.
Okay, all right. So maybe I should provide a little help here for people who do not speak French like me. But we've got some very layman interpretation for what happened in the conversation between Samuel Eto'o and Mark Bryce. And Samuel Eto'o was telling Mark Bryce, he said, "I'm the federation boss. I'm your country." He said, "In your country, we won't do it." He said, "You don't talk to me like that, Mr. Coach. As a player, you can never talk to me. So now I'm the president. You don't talk to me like that. Sit and we'll work. Stop this." He started saying all of those. And he said, "Please stay in the meeting," because eventually my Bryce had to walk out. And Samuel Eto'o employ him to stay back. But McBride, maybe because of he has perceived that the environment was tense. I'm talking about what preceded Eto's apology. He perceived that the environment was too tense, so he had to leave. And then after then, Samuel Eto'o removed him. He put a temporary man in charge, a Cameroonian. But again, just this week, he tendered an apology, or last week, I should say, today's Monday, he tendered an apology. And he said, "I apologize because during our unfortunate meeting, there was a lot of emotion, but the Cameroonian people are more important than us, and it is for them we must work." Eto actually said that at a press conference, and he went on to say, "Your mission is not an easy one. Despite your qualities and experience, he said, but you should know that you will have our support." Remember, so it seems eventually Samuel Eto'o has decided to shoot his sword for the sake of the progress of football in Cameroon, which I would personally give him a kudos because you have to admit it that his office was seriously undermined in all of this.
Exactly. It just goes to show that this is the reason why FIFA always wants to deal with the federation. They don't always like this idea of external bodies. They always frown at this. So it's a good one. He knows the importance of the qualifier. He knows that if he doesn't settle with whoever is having issues with, it's going to affect the players. The Domitable Lions have been struggling for some time now. We also saw what they did. I keep saying this they did very, very poorly at the last half, but they managed to qualify from the group stage before they eventually lost out to the Super Eagles. So, I mean, the World Cup qualifier, this is another avenue for them to, win the fans back because I believe that most Cameroon fans are not happy. They're not happy with the team. And now that there's issues between the Fecafoot and the sport ministry, I mean, there's no way it's not going to affect the players. I mean, the players are going to be the ones to suffer for it. I mean, because as it is, it's as if they don't. It's not really confirmed to them that they have a coach already. It's as if they just have a coach on paper. But it's good that Samuel Eto'o has decided to keep the story and allow the reasoning to prevail. So it's a good one for him. Applaud him for that. But Femi, like I said, I don't think we've heard the last of this. I'm telling you, if things go wrong, Femi, just expect more issues to come out from this. I just hope that the players come to the party and they do well because Femi, it's not going to be nice if things don't go well. I'm telling you, it's going to be worse than what we've been seeing these past few weeks.
Yeah, you actually took that off my mouth, and I hope that the players wouldn't be discouraged by all of this. James, let's talk about Victor Osimhen. Take a trip back to Nigeria now. According to reports, in Italy, they said Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis was hoping or was thinking that by this time, the deal for Osimhen will have been half done. You know, it's becoming a multifaceted issue right there at Napoli, because we heard that Osimhen doesn't even want to go to PSG. Now, PSG are changing their focus. They've rather made a bid to Napoli, not for Osimhen, but for his teammate Kvaratskhelia. And Chelsea, where Osimhen wants to go, according to some other reports, are not even thinking of Osimhen at this moment. Initial reports said that they were thinking of adding 90 million euros to Romelu Lukaku, which Napoli wanted. But this time, they are saying that Chelsea rather, wants to sell Lukaku for 38 million euros, 38 million pounds, as a matter of fact, 38 million pounds, and are considering other attacking options. James, would you say it is the release clause of for Victor Osimhen between 120 and 130 million euros that is actually scaring these clubs up? Because only a few clubs in Europe, as a matter of fact, if Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, maybe Arsenal, Chelsea, it's hard to see other clubs that can pay out 120, 130 million euros for a player. I don't know what you think. Do you think it is the release clause, or they feel that the player might not actually suit their style of play at the end of the day? What do you think is actually the problem going on with Victor Osimhen this is? Because Napoli are worried that no bid is coming in yet for him.
Well, Femi, you, I want to be, you might be correct when if you say maybe the release clause, because it's a big one, and you all know why they decide to fix this release clause to that figure. Because what they did, the season before, helping Napoli to win the Serie A title, imagine top scorer. So it was the bride, for everybody. But this past season is kind of a struggle for Cine. So struggled in the league, injuries, so all these things, they are monitoring all these things. What he did compared to his performance the season before, that there's a big difference. So for me, that could be a reason why because this thing has to do with values too. Once the value drops, I mean, a lot of these guys we look elsewhere. It's not the similar of last season. Injury has kind of slowed him down. The returns, he got, I think, 15 goals this season,
17 goals
and
in all competition.
compared to 17 in all competition. So these are things that they also look at, before because nobody wants to invest in something that at the end of the day you begin to regret. And just like what you said, there are reports that Chelsea are not even looking at him. He's not even part of their transfer targets. So I think at the end of the day, they still have to reach a compromise. Maybe at the end of the day, the release clause, you just have to bring it down, and because I don't see him still staying in Napoli coming season. Because to me, I think he has done it, or he has seen it, or so it does.
His mind and spirit they have left Napoli.
Yeah, it has left Napoli. So I expect him to move, but I think it's not going to be that amount. I think they just have to go out the price tag, because, like I said, I mean, if you want to judge Osimhen based on what he did last season, I mean, that if the big clubs are not really knocking on his door, I mean, we all know why. But he's still a fantastic player, one of the best players around, which most clubs love to go for. But, Femi, this one thing about transfers. When your value drops, you know, you just have to take whatever comes to your, So, but I'm confident that he's going to move. I don't see him staying at Napoli. But that price tag, I don't think anybody is going to pay over 100 million euros for Osimhen based on what we saw last season.
Okay, all right. According to a CIS Football Observatory, a report that was released last week, Victor Osimhen has fallen in value as far as they are concerned. It's worth 85.6 million euros. And Napoli, like James rightly said, will be demanding something close to 130 million euros. So the gap in monetary value is quite wide. Perhaps those are the reasons that these clubs are looking at. And I think it will help him if Napoli actually lower his release clause, because initially during the negotiation for this very deal that Osimhen is currently on, it was the value, how much Napoli was going to sell him for, was one of the major things that actually made him sign this and so that he can have a clear path. So if he goes to Chelsea, he'll be playing with Nicholas Jackson. They are this Senegalese. But if he goes to PSG eventually, he'll also be playing with Ashraf Hakimi. So everywhere he looks, there are African brothers there. Let's go on this very brief break. When we return, we'll be talking about players. They want to go on strike, and FIFA has actually made their position known about it because of backlog of fixtures. Remember, in January, we have players coming from already hectic season in Europe, coming to play in Africa and returning to the club. Some went back with injuries. And again, you have this month, the Euro 2024 will be getting on. Now the season is ended. African players are getting started with, or they are resuming the 2026 World Cup qualifier. So it seems the fatigue is everywhere. As a matter of fact, two coaches, Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, they've complained about this, and they're saying the only thing is maybe they might go to court if FIFA doesn't want to reconsider this backlog of fixtures. We'll be back to discuss all of this. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Still Sports Africa. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, please. And like we've said this several times, if you think there are other directions that we can look towards regarding football or any other sports on the continent of Africa, please let us know in the comment section. Please, this is a local content directed towards towards our African brothers and sisters doing great in sport and generally football, athletics, badminton, whatever. Please let us know in the comment section, and we will really, really appreciate that. Okay, James, let's talk about this notice that players might eventually go on strike. They have varying options. Go on strike. They said they are ready to exhaust all legal avenues and dialogue with FIFA. Complaining about the backlog of fixtures. For instance, Ademola Lookman played 45 matches in Europe just till yesterday when they played against Fiorentina, where Atalanta lost 3-2. 45 games. Apart from what he's done for Nigeria within the last 9 months, you remember World Cup qualifier, and all of that. Then AFCON as well. So this player said they want to go. As a matter of fact, in an interview with BBC, Mahita Malongo, who is the chief executive of Professional Football Association, he said that he quoted Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola saying that, look, we are millionaires, but we do not even have time to spend this money. And they said that is the same thing players have been lamenting about, that, yeah, they have this money, but they do not even have time to even spend the money. But again, some who are arguing against this, they say you earn a lot of money for the time. So why complain? What do you think, James? The FIFA has said that they do not have any hands in this, and they are shifting blame towards the respective leagues. For instance, in England, you play the Premier League, you play the FA Cup, you play the Carling Cup. Then if you are in the Champions League, so it's loaded. Players rarely have time to breathe. Who do you blame in all of this, James? FIFA? Because FIFA can actually decide to say, guys, because recently I heard that they are planning to reduce teams in all the leagues in Europe, majorly in Europe, to like 18. So they have the power to do this. But who do you blame, James?
Well, I'll blame FIFA because they are the ones who sanction the tournament. So they have the power to say, okay, this tournament can go on, or this tournament cannot go on. So until they reach a compromise, because these are human beings. No matter how much they are earning, they are still human beings. We want them to be at their best. We want them to be at their best. Everybody wants to watch exciting football, but if the main actors are not taken care of, forget about the fact that they earn all the top dollars, top pounds, and if they are not in the, if it is at the detriment of their health, so what are we saying? So for me, I think FIFA they need to sit down and look at some of these schedules. There's coming too much. Players are playing too many games now. Remember the Club World Cup where you have like group stages now. They just have to find a way to fix that into the calendar, to the yearly calendar. So you just imagine how many games these guys want to expect them to play. I know people have been saying, they earn all the money in the whole world. But these guys they do these things at the detriment of their own life. That's why I see some players with niggling injuries. Somebody like Frankie De Jong, he was saying that he hopes he doesn't aggravate whatever injury he has sustained because he wants to play in the
As in the
Euros.
Euros, right?
Yes, so just imagine how many games we played for Barcelona. We're now going to the Euros, and it depends on how far Netherlands go in that tournament. After the tournament, maybe you just give like 2 weeks break and now back for summer training and what have you. So for me, I think the FIFA has a lot of work to do. They just have to sit down, and if it means trashing out some tournament, you just have to do it. It's killing. It doesn't speak well at all,
Hmm.
because I mean football is big business, it's money, we all know that. But at the detriment of the players. I think it's kind of placed a lot of burden on these players. They just have to perform.
But they
So
also
tell
get
me,
they get all the money, James. They
yeah,
get
they
all the
get the money,
money.
but at the end of the day, when you retire and you now have to start using that money to treat injuries and what have you. So it's going to be a kind of wasted effort. So FIFA, like I said, they have to think for this. I think they have to sit down and start looking at a lot of tournaments. If it means, I mean, why would you want to revamp the Club World Cup? I know that there's nothing bad when you come to try to bring in new ideas to bring excitement but I mean, you still have to look at the players too.
Okay,
So
James.
they are
Sorry,
human
I
beings.
think. Sorry, James. Sorry, I think I need to straight something here. For instance, in a letter written to FIFA President and General Secretary Matthias Grafstrom, the FIFPro, they expressed concern over the expansion of new 32-team Club World Cup. You understand? That is what we are talking about. Just like you've been blaming FIFA. But in response, FIFA denied their claim it had taken unilateral decisions to favor its competitions in international calendar and would not consider rescheduling the tournament. So what FIFPro are saying is that we will try to exhaust all diplomatic avenues. We have sent a letter. We have received a reply, but unfortunately, time is against us. Sometimes between grown-up people, despite trying very hard to find solutions, you need a third party to decide, maybe an arbitrator or a tribunal. Do you think it should go to that level as a matter of fact?
Well, the way it's going, I think you just have to something just have to give, because people they are for the interest of the players. FIFA, they have their own tournament, and they just have to meet at at some point and trash things out. So because at the end of the day, it's still the players who bear the brunt, who suffer for all this thing, because it's their health now that is at risk. So let's just hope that we'll be able to trash things out, so that we don't start seeing players having their career cut short because of injuries. So for me, that's just
Okay, James, let's go to Ghana now. Of course, over the weekend we saw Samatex out of nowhere, James, won the Bet Power Ghana Premier League. James, this is it's a very very sweet story because this is a club that it's their first ever title, and they won it. They got promoted last season, and they've won the league already with 2 games left to spare. James, it is extraordinary. I know you've been talking about new clubs springing up in Ghana. Challenging the likes of House of Folk and Ashanti Kotoko. Now they've dethroned Medema, and we have a new champions in Ghana.
yes, a good one for them. I think I'm very excited. That the 3 seasons running now, we have 3 different winners, if I'm not mistaken. The big boys are nowhere to be found. It goes to show that the other teams have stepped up. They've shown that they can come to the party and do something. And that's what we just saw in the Ghana Premier League. For a team like some takes to win the 8 games to spare. I mean, it goes to show that I think they learned a lot of the game, and that if you put your all in it, you don't get don't get scared or allow pressure to set in. I mean, who say they cannot do, and they did it. So congratulations to them, congratulations to Ghana Premier League. These are the kind of things we want to see, not if turning the league to a farmers league or a 2 horse race, become boring.
Are
So
you insulting the
last
Premier
season
League, James?
Medema, this
Are
is
you insulting the Premier
no, no,
League?
no, no. I'm not. I'm just stating the fact. It become boring when it's just 2 teams or maybe one particular team that always winning the league. I mean, just to show now that there are there are teams in Ghana who with players who can step up to the plate, and it's good one for them because more money for them. And I won't be surprised a lot of the top decent European clubs come for their players. It's a good avenue for these players to serve themselves. And also earn a national team call up. So that's what we're saying. That when you run the league well, give everybody level playing ground. I mean, there are talents in the Ghanaian Premier League. So we are just saying that there are other clubs who can do it. And so congratulations to Samatex, and hopefully other teams will look at them, learn from them, emulate them, and do maybe next season see another champion. So it's only
Okay.
going to make the league better for it.
Okay, what I've noticed in the Ghana Premier League this season is that officiating has been top notch, because compared to last season, where we had so many complaints about officiating, and of course, James, out of folk, they did their survivor attempt in the league some good over the weekend, because they went to Medema and defeated Medema 1-0. So at the end of the day, we might see Out of Folk play the Ghana Premier League next season. So the race for the second place for the Champions League is between Edwana Stars and Medema. Just remember, Medema stole the title, stole in quotes now, from Medema last season, because Edwana looks like they were going to be the favorite to win the title. Then Medema came from nowhere and won it. So that is how it is in the Ghana Premier League. So watch out for Samatex in the Champions League, Cup Champions League next season. This season it was Medema, and of course we saw Medema didn't go far, but Dreams FC went very, very far, up to semi-final in the CAF Confederations Cup. So the teams in Ghana, they are doing greatly. James, let's talk about the 2026 World Cup qualifiers before we leave the show today. Okay, so quickly, James, I'll just reel out the fixtures. For Wednesday, we have Central African Republic taking on Chad. Then on Thursday, we have Mali versus Ghana. That is going to be, a lot of attention is going to be on that because of Toado. Then you have Senegal versus DR Congo. Also, Alice, remember, he had issue of a contract with the Senegalese Federation, and thinking of just giving him one more year to see how it's going to perform because of how Senegal didn't do well at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Then we have Benin Republic versus Rwanda. That is Nigeria's group. Then you have Algeria, Guinea. Then you have Zimbabwe versus Lesotho. That is also Nigeria's group. Then on Friday, the big one, we have the Super Eagles of Nigeria taking on the Bafana of South Africa in Nigeria. Then you have Morocco versus Zambia. You have Ivory Coast versus Gabon. Then you have Egypt taking on Burkina Faso. And on Saturday, it is going to be Cameroon taking on Cape Verde. That is going to be very tricky for my guys. James, before we go.
Yeah, Super Eagles against South Africa. We also what happened at last AFCON, and I think the Super Eagles have to be very careful, because the South Africans show that they can mix it up. They can play with the big boys, and that's what we saw at the last AFCON. So I think they will have learned a lot of lessons in that encounter. That's Super Eagles now, and I have to take it into Friday's game. It's going to be a very tight one. They will play on.
What do you think, because of time, James? Mali, Ghana, what do you think?
It's a tricky one also for the Black Stars.
Remember, Mali defeated Super Eagles in the friendly.
Yeah, so that's why it's going to be a tricky one for Black Stars, for Otoado. The last time out, they lost to Comoros, and they're going to this game under pressure. They just have to come with their A game. I do the thing that some of their injured players are back, Party is back, and some other top guys. So maybe they can, take it up from there, because the last AFCON was terrible for them, and it's a mixed fortune for them in the World Cup qualifier. So let's just see what they have to do against Mali, because it's going to be a very, very, very tricky type.
All right, guys. So it's going to be a very, very busy week completely from Wednesday on the continent of Africa, because remember, even after this, a few days time, there's going to be other fixtures on the continent for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier that will be hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. James Agberebe, thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So sadly, time is not always our friend. So this is where we'll be sounding our final whistle on the show today. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please, that is the support we are soliciting from you. Like we've said it, we are trying to build a content, the local content that is African focus right here on Sport Africa. We'll see you all next time. I remain Ashalolu Afemi. Have a fantastic week ahead.